All right. MLS thinks they're so smart. They're pulling out of the U.S. Open Cup. But guess what else they've done? They've gone ahead and changed the rules. They've changed the rules of the game. 4 rules changes.
Are the penalty kicks going back to the old school?
Oh, God. Okay, so, all right. That's the one thing I wish they would do.
Yes.
I wish they'd bring back that old, old penalty
10 seconds
kicks.
to score. You run from half field.
All right, let's run through the changes MLS are bringing in for the upcoming season, 2024 season. Stadium clocks are going to run past 90 minutes. So, and all over the world, the clock stops at the end of the half at 45 minutes, and then the rest of the time is kept on the watch by the referee. That the time at the end of 90 is also then, it stops at 90 and kept by the referee on the watches. I believe that is still going to be the case, in my opinion. I think it is still going to be the case where the referee keeps the official time and he can stop and add more time. But we are now going to know in the stadium that it is now the 91st, the 92nd, the 93rd, and so on. I personally do not have an issue with this rule change. Anybody care?
No.
No. Doesn't matter, right?
No.
All right, moving on. Great. Referees will make in-stadium announcements for VAR decisions. Kind of like this one, actually.
Thought it was. I remember a couple of months ago when we had after the Women's World Cup and we sat here and we debated it and I went through it and I watched the England-Spain final where the female referee, she stopped it for a penalty in the box and she went through the VAR stadium announcement in the stadium and I thought it was really cool. I really did. I thought it was cool.
I think it's a great. It puts not a pressure, but it holds the referee and VAR accountable. That this is what we're doing, and this is why, and this is what we're seeing.
It's only productive, and it's only good if they deem VAR that the referee has missed a clear and obvious error, that the referee holds his hand up in the stadium to the fans and says, VAR, I made a mistake.
Yep.
Goal
and essentially,
stands,
they'll have to, right?
If
they're called and to change it. So, Nate, you were going to oppose that?
Not oppose. I just don't care. Just let refs ref.
Okay.
And
I agree.
then they want to say whatever they want to say and explain. Fantastic. I'm sick of the third party sitting in Timbuktu, 50 miles away, giving their opinion. Just let them do their job.
Yep.
If they need to explain something, or rather just explain it after the match. Like, if they need, you can see, the notes of why the referee made the decision, then that's fine. Or there's a video, that's fine. They don't have to stop in the game and let it,
I get that, but I also like that the referee, if there is a VAR decision, will go look and then explain what happened. All right, there wasn't a handball, or because it hit the player's chest and then the hand is not a handball.
That's fine, yeah. Just don't make it like a 2-minute reasoning.
Excuse me.
Just make it 15
exactly.
seconds and done.
Give it a quick.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now here's where we get a little bit of controversy. Substitutes must exit the field within 10 seconds. So if I hold your number up on the board, Brooks, and you clearly see it, you see this number, right, on this board. Do you see it? Okay, I see you acknowledging it. Does the clock start? How are we going to monitor this? Because guess what? Brooks is going to be alerted that he's about to be subbed. So what's he going to do? He's going to turn his back, and he's going to stand in the middle of the field pretending to have a conversation with another player or tying his shoe to waste extra time. Players do this. We get it. I don't know. I don't know about this one, boys. Thoughts?
I thought this was already a thing. I thought you had to now exit the nearest
You are.
field and
Yeah.
you
You
just
are.
go and
But
That makes it quicker.
But now you've got 10 seconds. And if you don't, you're going to get a yellow card.
yeah, I think it's more like 10 seconds based on when the ref feels like, you know what I mean?
Okay, it's like when
I hope. Is the referee keeping a clock?
It's kind of like hey, you can't drive and use your cell phone. Why? Well, because if you get in an accident, isn't there already a law and a fine if I get in an accident? Yeah, but now you're on your cell phone. Well, how do you know I was on my cell phone? Because you got in an accident. But isn't there? So it's like to me, it's just like
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on board with
to
a little bit
me-
of your thinking there.
To me, it's like the goalkeeper rule when
I was
you
about
got
to
so
say
many.
6 seconds goalkeeper.
No one does that.
yeah, it's
It's ridiculous.
So is the referee? Well, now we see how MLS is. They're becoming very rule oriented now.
yes.
Is there going to be a running clock? Are we going to see this?
No.
Is there going to be a running clock?
I think it's not gonna be 10 seconds. If you're like, man, this is 30 seconds, there's the yellow. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the ref will do.
All right.
If it's like 10, it's like, yeah, he's close enough. Like, no big deal.
All right.
I mean, it's in the ref's hands, essentially.
Yeah.
It's their
Okay.
decision.
So those three right there, I don't think we have too much to argue about, and we can kind of agree with them. Here's the one that I really, really disagree with. All right? if an injured player remains on the ground for 15 plus seconds, they will have to then exit the field and remain off the field for 2 minutes. Essentially what you're saying is, well, you were injured and it took longer than 15 seconds, so now you've got a 2-minute penalty. Well, but it's your fault for not healing quick enough.
You realize
your fault.
That conversation was, what you just said was longer than 15 seconds?
Yes.
Did you time him?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. And Nate, you've played the sport of soccer.
I have?
I've played the sport of soccer.
You have?
Danny's played the sport of soccer.
Oh, he has.
Brooks has watched No, you've played as well. I know you.
I have. That's not as high as level as you guys.
But listen,
You know.
I've sprinted down a field and been stood on and been whacked, and it freaking hurts. And sometimes after you've just sprinted 60 yards and been whacked and stood on, accidentally, whatever,
So
it can take longer than 15 seconds for you to actually catch your breath and get up. But now I'm going to be penalized for 2 minutes.
So good old Scott Emmett has chimed in with, I agree with that one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Go F yourself, Scott Emmert.
And
How?
I would like
How?
I would like Scotty to explain that one to us, actually, why he agrees with that, because I think it's the most ridiculous rule that they could have possibly come out with.
I'm going to hold on, Brooks.
Yeah, go
Before you
ahead.
jump in,
You're
here's what I'm also going to do. If my team is up a goal with 3 minutes left in a game, and superstar Danny gets the ball and he's traveling down the field, I'm going to go whack him. I'm going to go absolutely whack the crap out of his legs, and then the referee is going to come up and give me a yellow card.
I'm going to step on him.
And Danny's going to be on the ground holding his leg because I did mean to hurt him.
Yeah.
And I have actually hurt him. I didn't mean to break his I didn't break his leg, but I've given him a bruise. And guess what? He can't get up off the ground for 15 seconds. So now we're into about 20 seconds. Now he's got to go sit out for 2 minutes. You're down a man. My team's up a goal. Yeah.
I'm going to tackle Danny and
Yeah.
get him in a hold and a hug.
So they did say, right? They did say, and I do recall reading this, that they said that there are few exceptions to this rule, right? And one of them being head injuries, goalkeeper injuries, serious medical events like the Tom Lockyer one today, yesterday for Luton, and fouls resulting in cards as they may need more time on the pitch.
Okay.
So fouls, but if it's not a foul, then, I mean, essentially that player that's on the ground for 15 seconds can't re-enter for 2 minutes. It's almost like you're punished for being injured.
Right. And pain is different for everybody.
Right.
If Nate punches you and he punches me, it's going to hurt one of us more than the other. I mean,
it's not going to hurt me.
It's not going to hurt me very much either, but,
He hits like a delicate flower, this old
I ain't got time to bleed.
I don't know if I want to be bulldozed by Nate.
I'm going to tackle. I've now become the greatest defender ever because I'm just tackling people and holding them on the ground for 15 seconds.
Exactly.
And then yelling, "Ref, that's 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes, ref.
He's been on the ground for more than 15 seconds. Brooks?
Sir, he's got my legs. I can't get up."
We got a few more comments. So Victor says, love it for floppers like Craig.
Oh.
Go F yourself, Victor.
Here goes Scott Emmert. So I've seen too many times where players are staying on the ground to emphasize a missed call, only when to be miraculously healed when the ball finally gets kicked out. And then Mark Jerobi with a comment, 15 seconds is too little, but it's just another wonky MLS rule to make the game move faster, likely made by folks who have never been kicked in the shin multiple times in the opening 15 minutes. You can't punish players and in turn teams.
See, I actually agree with Scott on that one.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that because there are players that get whacked, in a game, and the referee plays play on. And now, the only question is now
Neymar's the biggest defender.
Now because in normal games right now, right, when somebody gets injured, unless it's a head injury, they play on, right?
Right, absolutely.
Usually, yes.
So they play on. So if they play on for 30 seconds, right, ball goes out of bounds, do they then go back to the injured player and count the 30 seconds that they've played on and the advantage and count that as the 15 seconds that he was down and then send him off for 2 minutes?
Or is it just when it's injury and it's stoppage that then they do that?
See, I think further clarity needs to be made on that because it's just it's an interpreted rule, right?
Correct.
You can interpret it a million different
100%
ways
agree.
outside of the parameters they actually said.
Yes.
Based on the way that it was written and the way we see it, it's a bit of a stupid rule, the MLS thinking they can do this better than the rest of the world. I'm sorry, MLS, you're getting too big for yourself.
What would we be if we weren't America, Craig? We
I-
do this for every sport.
But you're
Yeah, but all those sports that we do it for are all American sports, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
This is true.
hey, we got a rule change that'll affect the global world of baseball. Who's that? Everyone in America.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just
The
saying.
World Cup will be the World Series will be affected by this new rule. Who's playing in it? All the.
Do you know what? Do
American
you know what?
teams.
Do you know what makes me laugh? And I can't believe I'm going to get political here, but do you know what makes me laugh is that we can make so many stupid rule changes with the greatest sport on earth, but yet we can't change the Constitution of the United States and make amendments.
Hell no.
It's
No, you can
politically
make-
incorrect.
You can make amendments. What are you doing?
Yes, but it doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, because it takes like a whole system of voting in order to. Someone's not just like, hey,
And soccer's not the most important most important game in the world.
all right, fair enough.
All right, so
All right.
More important than life, my
it
friend.
is. It is
It's
right.
life.
Yes.
You
It's
win
more
this
important than
one,
life.
Mr.
It's not a-
Bond.
It's not a matter of life and death. It's more important than that, Nathan.
You're right, Mr. Bond. My bad. Good point on this one. I mean,
Scott Emmer wants the old penalty kicks back, though, so he agrees with us.
We all want those back,
Why-
Scott. We all want those back.
why can't we just let the refs do their job? If the ref feels the guy's laying on the ground for too long and he wants to then say, okay, you have to, exit for a minute or two and then come back in, so be it. Why do you have to set like a time?
Right. Why do we have to have a timer? Why can't we just do how we always have done it? Listen, you received medical attention. You must leave the field until I deem it is okay as the referee for you to come back on. We do not need a timer, a limit. It's
just a
ridiculous.
wild.
Well, Scott brings up a very good point here. He said people hated the pitch clock in baseball, and after 1 year, the sport did get a lot better. I mean, they've gotten more fans because it doesn't last for 4.5 hours
Who
anymore.
watches baseball?
Scott has a very good point.
No,
Old
Scott.
people. Old people.
Scott's doing this just to argue.
No, well,
He does.
and he's gotten me too, but I do very much do agree with what he's saying.
Hey,
Yes.
you guys remember when they made all those rule changes in cricket, actually?
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't,
no.
because I don't care. Just like
Hey.
I don't care about baseball.
Hey,
What?
It is an American
Hey.
pastime, Nate.
cool your jets. Cricket is one of England's favorite pastimes.
Were you a
Why?
bowler?
Because it's a game that can go on
Were you a bowler? Did you play?
I couldn't play cricket actually, to be honest with you.
Why? Because you're too athletic?
He was too busy in the stands eating sandwiches and drinking
I
the
was-
beer.
I was too busy eating prawn sandwiches at Old Trafford.
Because you'd fall asleep midway through while playing because the game goes on for days.
Ah,
and
moving
still
on to
ends
the
in a
last-
draw.
Can we get to this? Can we get to the return to play equity rule that they just brought in?
Yes.
Can we
You're
please
gonna need
get to
to
that?
Yes, please.
Go
Have
for
at
it.
it. Tell us.
So the last one, right, is finally, and this was rule number 6, I think. If players suffer head injuries from a collision with each other requiring off-field treatment, they will only return to the match at the same time after their evaluations have been completed.
Oh my gosh.
So
That
both
is-
have to go in
that
at
is
the same time?
absolutely
So if you
stupid.
So if you and I, right, if you and I clash heads and you've got an egg-sized bump on your head, but yeah, I've got a 6-inch gash on my head that's bleeding.
You have to
so
wait for him.
You have to wait for me.
So you can
you're
milk the
gonna
clock
milk-
anyways.
You're going to milk the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're
Especially if
a
it's the
defender and
best
I'm
player.
a forward and your team's up a goal.
Sure.
Right. You're going to. Oh my God.
Scott
MLS.
doesn't like that rule. He said it's pretty stupid.
MLS. What are we
I
doing
agree.
here?
Yes.
What are we doing? So, I mean, again, I think it's MLS trying to they're too big for their boots. They think they're smarter than everybody else. Sorry. MLS, you will find that you will have to undo some of these changes, and you may have players who don't want to come here anymore to play in your league because your stupid rules. But please do bring back the old penalty kicks.
Yes, MLS, if you are watching the We
You
Are
mean the
Soccer
ridiculous
And they
soccer
are.
rules we
Podcast
still have in
Sunday
college
night.
soccer in high school?
Wait, what?
You mean like the ridiculous rules we still have in college soccer in high school?
Nobody watches that. Anyways.
Yeah, some of the rules are a little wonky.
No, club
there.
soccer is different from high school. I'm saying college soccer; those are a bit
No, but I
ridiculous.
mean, listen, those are lower level.
No one watches that either.
I mean, those are lower level tiers, way
Nate.
lower level tiers. But now your MLS is the
Nate,
top
Will you
level.
stop winding him up? He's got the microphone off the stand.
He doesn't understand how a stand works.
It's too short.
He's got the microphone.
can
off the
adjust
stand.
You
the
can't
stand!
use this one.
He's got it off the stand. He's wearing his Brooks t-shirt. Don't piss him off.
I'm still
okay,
the
he's
his
right.
own brand T-shirt. That's blowing my mind.
He's right.
know.
I have to apologize to the 10 parents that watch their kids play in the college soccer final, whatever.
There were like a
Carry
couple
on.
thousand people there, by the way.
Ooh.
And I think like DeMartin Stadium gets a couple. When we at the IU, we were at the
Yeah,
IU-MSU game. I think there were a
Gets-
couple thousand people there.
Sweet.
So hold your horses there, Mister.
It gets a couple thousand people, mate. It gets a couple thousand people.
I'm like, just like DCFC? I mean, what the fuck's your point? Like,
My point is, you think no one goes, but actually people do. So
Oh,
yes.
you think no one goes, Nate? Checkmate. 50 people watch that game.
Wouldn't you want to take your own children to games to go watch them?
I want them to go watch pro, not punt and chase.
That's
Whoa,
not.
there's nothing wrong with punt and chase. Some of us made a
Shut up,
career out of that.
442.
Whoa, coming back. All right. Yeah, so MLS, bigger than your britches. Not going to work out, in my opinion. Those